Hello my gorgeous boys and girls, and welcome back to another video. It's been a fair long while, but I've decided to finally upload another video. Um, Today I'm going to be drawing, as the title suggests, some sweet treats. Only a couple. Whilst I yap to you about stuff that I've been doing recently, because I've basically abandoned this channel for good. Start off with, I'm going to be using Artex markers. I'm using their skin tone set, which, it's mostly used for skin, but I think it's good for making baked treats. So that's what I will also be doing. I have done a couple cakes before, as you can see here, but I wanted to go all out on one page, so here we go. So basically, recently I've been trying to indulge myself into Stanley Kubrick. Now, I've heard of him, I had heard of him, but for some reason the YouTube algorithm blessed me with a bunch of reactions to A Clockwork Orange. And more specifically, there's a channel on YouTube called Dave Bowman, who, if you've watched 2001, you know who Dave is. Their whole channel is just Dave Bowman. I highly recommend it. But yeah, the first film that I decided to watch just on a whim during Christmas holidays was The Shining. I don't really know why, I just watched it on a pirate site. I actually thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought the acting was amazing. Jack, or whatever his name is, was really good. And I loved the cinematography. I haven't watched a lot of artsy films before. I've always sort of wanted to. But everything just felt so yummy. All the colors were so yummy. And every shot was planned and good. And the story was confusing, but I felt like I was still going along with it, unlike 2001, which I will get to. But I really enjoyed it. I think it might be one of in my top 10 really good films. I also thought that the mystery at the end was pretty good, with the midnight with the stars and you. And despite it being technically really long, I think it was 2 hours or whatever, it didn't feel like it was that long. I will get to 2001 because that is not the same. I didn't really have any glaring issues with it, and I thought it built the unsettling vibe really well. The soundtrack, the whole time I was what the hell is going on? Because the most mundane thing will be happening, and the creepiest music ever would just be in the background. What? But yeah, I would rate that film a 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. However, the same cannot be said for 2001. When I say this, I don't mean that I disliked it, because it is a good film, technically speaking, but I just thought it was extremely drawn out, and the whole time whilst I was watching it, I felt extremely pretentious for watching it. I shit you not, the first 20 minutes is just a bunch of monkeys fucking about, and that's it. It takes 20 minutes until the black cuboid comes down and they gain human sentience or whatever. I'm it's smart, but you didn't have to drag it out for that long, in my opinion. I know I have the 8-second TikTok brain whatever attention span, but I watched it with my stepdad, who's 55, and even he was just sitting there is something going to happen soon? Basically, my judgment is the first hour could have been cut down to half an hour. But I suppose saying that, I sound I don't know, I couldn't contain or whatever. I just feel I don't really want to watch these science doctor whatever just walking around a giant donut floating in space for that long, you know? But the film gets a lot better in the second half when Hal and Dave are introduced, because I actually have people to follow now, and there's a air quote story happening, and everyone loves Hal. I watched this film with my stepdad, as previously mentioned, and the whole time whilst we were watching it, he kept on being Hal's so evil, what's he gonna do next? He's scared of AI. But my birthday was a few days after we watched it. This man has given me a Hal tie bow thingy a Hal badge and a Hal poster that he demanded I put on the outside of my door so I suppose it could stare at him. I don't know. I think he likes Hal. I do too. I'm not gonna lie. He's a very silly guy, and I like Dave. He scares me, but he's pretty anyway. But like I liked the exploration of AI, and I thought the shots from there on out was smart, and the ending, as much as it fucked with my brain, was clever. And I think I know. I don't know. I have theories on what it meant, but like whatever. By the second half, I'd gotten into it, but the first half, you could easily just walk out the theatre if you had watched it in theatres, I fear. Now, the most recent film that I decided to watch was A Clockwork Orange, with a slight bit of hesitancy, because apparently it had some questionable things in, and to be honest, as much as it was questionable, it could have been a lot worse. Because it showed some bits, but it didn't show, like, you know, him, the woman the whole time. So, whatever. The ooification of Alex sort of destroys the point of the film, but, you know, just don't hire a nice-looking actor to play the ist. Compared to 2001 and The Shining, I feel like the shots were maybe not as clever. Like, there were some clever shots, don't get me wrong, obviously, but they felt very few and far between, and most of the film, as much as the story was doing things, and the characters were wearing really weird clothing, like, the shots or whatever, it felt like it was sort of like a normal film, shot-wise, at some points. I don't know if that's just me, but I think I enjoyed it. If I were to rank, like, the 3 films that I've watched, I would say The Shining's number 1, number 2 I'd put A Clockwork Orange, and number 3 I'd put 2001. I would like to watch Eyes Wide Shut, but I'm not really sure about other Kubrick films as far as I'm aware, so if anyone wants to recommend me any, please do. Pressing on, I would like to talk about, or yap about, my experience so far starting art GCSE. Now, for GCSE, I chose art, history, classics, and German. For some reason. I feel with art GCSE, you sort of have to go into it knowing what you're doing. Because my first topic for this year is portraiture. And if you're looking at what I'm drawing right now, I'm not... I don't do portraiture. I draw silly little gay men, and sometimes cakes. So, you know, portraiture was not really in my level of expertise, so I practiced a tad over the summer. Like, I just watched some tutorials and I practiced, but not drawing myself. And then we come in and it's like, you have to draw yourself. No, I don't really want to draw myself. I know a lot of people that don't really want to draw themselves, but I am definitely one of those people. But yeah, the first few things we've done like an A3 pencil portrait, which I did alright in. And at the moment we're using oil paints. I hate oil paints. They don't dry, they're really hard to blend. I don't know if that's just me, but like, every time I try it, I just end up getting a different thing wrong. And it's really annoying, because my end of year this year, which is part of my grade, has to be an oil painting. It doesn't help also that the artist that I choose out of the list that they gave me to study is not an oil painter. Why would you put a watercolor artist on a list of artists to study when they know full well we're using oil paint? Huh? Because I tried using oil paint like watercolor. Don't. It just doesn't dry. It won't dry in time. So I'm just trying to use it like normal oil paints, but making it really super duper light, because my skin is practically paper. And so I can literally just paint using white for my face. Which, what else? I find it rather relaxing. As much as it's quite stressful, because I've got like 3 hours worth of homework to do every week. This week is one of those lucky weeks that I don't. or I got it done. It's a lot of work. I won't lie. Art GCSE, you have to sort of put yourself into it. Like, dive head in. It's not one of the ones where you're able to slack off, or like miss a couple lessons without many repercussions, because if you do, it just eats into your time, and it doesn't help that starting my GCSEs, there's a lot of work going on. And I appreciate it's going to get a lot worse once I actually do my GCSEs and then move on to A-levels. Yay! College is fun! My verdict so far is that I'm doing alright. Recently, actually it was this week, I did a life drawing. My first life drawing experience. This one naked bloke, she wasn't a bloke, one naked lady, a bit old, not gonna lie, came and we drew a bunch of naked pics of this random old lady. And as much as it sounds weird, and it was weird when you accidentally got like a flash of her, you know, down there, it was interesting. I'll say that much. I don't know if it's helped me, it might have, but like the other mentoring woman who was like telling us what to do, she gave us like 30 seconds. I've never drawn a naked lady so fast. In fact, I don't think I've ever drawn a naked lady before. So, hurrah. I think it may have been a bit flawed, because as much as it is helping us to draw models or whatever, I think it would be cooler if they got like multiple, because we just had random white lady, like fair skinned, average weight, you know? I think it'd be fun if we got like more overweight maybe, or like different skin color or whatever, because my school's pretty diverse, and so not everyone's just going to be drawing themselves as like a perfect model figure. I'm certainly not a perfect model figure. I've got a bit of chub to me. Not too much. But like, yeah. It was at this point in me recording this video that my phone decided to drop from the ceiling because I stuck it to the top of my desk with blue tack. Which, you know, I'm revealing my camera work secrets. Just stick a bunch of blue tack to the bottom of your phone. I would also like to say with Art GCSE that, as much as I love drawing silly characters, I will not be able to draw silly characters the whole time of GCSE. If whoever's watching this is going to start Art GCSE or has already, like, year 10, whatever you're doing, would it be grade 9 for US or grade 11? I'm not sure, but you have a very strict topic. You stick to that topic. Don't try and be like special with your own style, basically. Just do your best, and you know, you'll be able to experiment with your style when it comes to more year 11 and definitely A-level. A-level you get to do a lot more of what you want to do, but GCSE is basically like foundation, in my opinion. Anyways, I thank you for watching this. It's about here that I'm just adding my finishing touches to this little cake here where my camera is not facing because I'm an idiot and didn't realize it wasn't pointing at the thing I was drawing. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, please leave a like and possibly subscribe, as I have hardly any subscribers. And I think next week or the week after, I shall make another art rant video. So if there's anything particular that you want me to yap about, then sure, but I usually just yap about whatever I want to. Okay, thank you so much. Bye bye, Trissies.